That was a great coverage from Omolola Ololade of News Central. Taking a look at the African Union, but away from that story now, still on Breakfast Central, female genital mutilation, otherwise known as female circumcision, is a harmful prevailing practice in Nigeria. About 20 million girls and women in Nigeria have undergone female genital mutilation, FGM, with Nigeria having the third highest number of FGM cases in the world. Now, this accounts for the 10% of a global total. A 2020 UN brief states that 20% of Nigerian women between the ages of 15 to 49 have undergone FGM.
In a statement issued on Sunday by UNICEF's representative in Nigeria, Peter Hawkins, he noted that the rates have risen from 16.9% in 2013 to 19.2% in 2018. The agency tweeted on its Twitter page that at least 200 million girls have been subjected to female genital mutilation and 68 million remain at risk by the year 2030. Joining us now to discuss this harmful practice is Melanie Ishola, who is a journalist, an anti-FGM advocate, and a producer of the documentary titled Don't Cut Her, which sheds light on the issues surrounding FGM. Many thanks for joining the program, Melanie. Looking at the situation of things now, we do understand that there are different types of female genital cutting or mutilations. Can you run us through the different types, especially the ones that are prevalent in Nigeria?
The new figure by UNICEF also creates lots of problems right now amidst advocates like me, civil society groups, and what have you, regarding what can be done, what concerted efforts can be done to ensure that we work harder at stemming this evil practice. However, there are four major types of the female genital mutilation. We have the type A or the type 1 to type D, right, or type 4. The first type is called clitoridectomy. In this type, you have the cutting of the clitoris, in which case sometimes you literally could just have a little portion of the clitoris cut off, or sometimes it goes way deep. And these are done by traditional excisors with no technical knowledge on this much you cut or this low you cut. And in some cases with clitoridectomy, also the labia minora is equally cut off, or literally just, taken away the entire flesh right there. Now you go to type 2, which is the excision. With excision, you may have the cutting of the clitoris or not. And in the occasion, no, you do have the cutting of the clitoris, and you equally have the taking away of the labia minora. But what saddens my heart is also that sometimes the labia majora, which is like the bigger lip of the vagina, is equally cut off. Now, the worst part of this is the type 3, right? And this is called infibulation. With infibulation, you get to see women who are cut from clitoris sometimes or not, and then the labia minora is taken off, and then the labia majora, in most cases, is first taken off and then sewn together in what is regarded as the narrowing of the vagina, to the intent that, I beg your pardon, to the intent that only the little hole is left, right, when the vagina wall is narrowed, to be able to allow for urination, sexual penetration, or menstrual flow. And you begin to look at the kind of trauma women who live with this condition have to undergo. And the fourth type is called unclassified. Unclassified because you look at the different things that people do from culture to culture, to the intent to which they are interested in sexually controlling the girl child. This goes from piercings to numbings to dabbing with hot water and so on and so forth. But I quickly need to add that the type 1, 2, and 4 contribute 90% of the types of FGM that you will find worldwide, as only 10% is contributed by the type 3, which is infibulation. Well, you find this mostly in the eastern part of Nigeria, which also, in a new interesting figure put out by the UNICEF, the southeastern Nigeria has now taken over from the southwestern Nigeria as the region with the highest prevalence of female genital mutilation. I think that this is worthy of note. And of course, the key state in the southeast that is still next in this practice is Ebonyi State. But as you know, I based my documentary on female genital mutilation titled Don't Cut Her on your state. And in this case, on the local government area in Nigeria with the highest prevalence of female genital mutilation.
Right. Now, Maloney, this is such a gruesome act that you have clearly explained to us the different types of mutilation. We also understand that there are advocates like yourself who have been, over the years, you've been increasing awareness, yet there is a spike in FGM in Nigeria. Can you tell us what could be responsible for this spike, despite the awareness that we've all been putting out there?
Thank you. So I have looked through a situation where I actively started advocating against female genital mutilation in the year 2020. Coincidentally, that was the start of the pandemic, right? But I have had just a little understanding of this before then. My real awakening was in the year 2019 when I had interviewed some women from Center for Women Health Initiative in Nigeria who spoke extensively on the dangers of female genital mutilation and put out the figure that the local government next to my local government of origin in Oyo State has the highest prevalence. I felt this was a call to do something. And I know that a number of colleagues that were on the field together doing something also feel this high burden of responsibility to put in concerted efforts. But I will first start by sharing what I think may be responsible for this. With my research going to the villages of Oyo State, what I have found is that with the outright declaration against female genital mutilation that is done in most of these villages, which the UNICEF, the Women Affairs of Oyo State, the Primary Health Care Board, the UNFPA, and so on and so forth, other agencies have ensured that the leaders of these communities, that religious leaders, market leaders, their traditional leaders, their traditional excisers, have come together, even in collaboration with schools and certain committees and cohorts, to ensure that the students, in this case, the girl child, has the opportunity and an avenue of reporting any danger or prospective mutilation that is to occur. So, what would I say to the reasons this might have festered a lot more is that when the lockdown came, the safe spaces for our girl children sort of reduced because you find, incidentally and maybe unfortunately, though, that the closest people to you are those who put you at the highest risk of female genital mutilation because this practice is rooted in culture. Now, I begin to look at it as having been caught myself and just finding out at the age of 33, right? That was about 3 years ago. And, my mom just opened up to me when I had asked. I asked because I saw what a full picture of the clitoris should look like. And I figured I didn't have this. What exactly happened to me? And so she confessed to me and said, well, all of you were caught when you were quite young. In my case, to make it worse, if you are born into a family like mine, which in these rural communities is what likely happens, you are caught at no or for no token at all. I was caught and my cutting was sort of like an honor cutting because my family, traditionally, the Ogushala family, which is my father's name, actually make the tools that the traditional excisers would use to do the cutting. So as an honor to my family, whether tribal mark, circumcision for male child or whatever, we don't get to pay. So imagine the girls who are being taken by their grandmothers, even their mothers in some cases to be caught, claiming that this is a rite of passage for the woman, one, and then two, claiming that this is how to reduce promiscuity in our society. Three, claiming that it gives women the better chance to be able to give birth or be delivered of the children easily when they are of childbearing ages. And then four, claiming that it is a taboo, and this beats me. It's a taboo for the clitoris to compete with the penis during sexual intercourse, who made the law. And fifth one is that the clitoris must not touch the baby's head during childbirth. All of these things beat me, but these are the reasons that have been used from generation to generation. One thing I would say as I drop this is that patriarchy stands at the core of this. Inequality within the sex, between the sexes, stands at the core of this. The fact that a woman has to be held to a different moral standard sexually than a man has to. Why don't we then cut off the penis of a man in the bid to actually stem promiscuity in our society? What science has proven, however, I must add, is that the mutilation of a girl child is what has actually given rise or has made promiscuity increase among girl children. And a lot of people have contacted this where I've gone out to do outreaches. I have another outreach in Ikorodu this Friday, just maybe to gather women who are the major nurturers and educate them. Because you find indeed that while there are laws criminalizing this from state to state, or overall in Nigeria, the VAT Act, Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act, and this has been domesticated in several states. I speak about your state, e.g., we have the Child Rights Act of 2006, we have the Violence Against Women Law of 2016. In spite of all of this, I ask, has anybody been jailed for this practice? I am told no one is. It's a very dicey situation. And what I have concluded to do is to continue to advocate by educating, informing. This literally opens up the light on this issue, and then you provide practical answers to what people are looking for. For me, if this helps somebody, having had 2 children before I found that I was mutilated, I imagine having my 3rd late last year and imagining at the back of my mind what having a clitoris could have done for me, and being delivered of a 4.0 baby vaginally caused a bit of trauma for me. And I know that the clitoris was there as an extra pound of flesh to help the woman during childbirth, not to prevent the woman from being able to deliver a child safely and accurately.
All right, thank you so much, anti-FGM advocate and producer, journalist as well. We truly appreciate you coming here on Breakfast Central. Thank you, Melanie Shola, for being here.